welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie if you have not been here before, and thanks so much for watching this video. Today we're hanging out in my master bedroom. I just felt like being a little bit more casual for this video, so welcome to our room. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing my 5 favorite apps that I use to edit my Instagram photos, videos, and stories. I hope you guys are excited for this video. I get questions constantly on Instagram about how I edit all of those things, so today, hopefully this answers you guys' questions. Before we get started, please subscribe to my channel if you have not already and hit that notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload. Come follow me on Instagram, that would be super fun, and you can see all of these apps in action there. All of my other social channels, including my Poshmark, that's all linked below, as well as my camera equipment and all that fun stuff. And if you guys enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that, and comment down below and let me know what else you guys would like to see from me. Before I share all of the apps with you guys, I do want to give you guys a heads up about the equipment that I use to take my Instagram photos and videos and all that stuff. So for all of my Instagram photos on my feed, I actually use a Canon 5D Mark IV to take all of those photos. There's a few other cameras that we have that we've used to take photos here and there, but most of the time it is the Canon 5D Mark IV. You do not need a nice camera in order to use any of these apps, so definitely don't be concerned about that. You can totally use your phone to take photos. You can use any kind of DSLR or any kind of camera. It's not a big deal. Any old camera on any old device will do. One other thing I did want to mention is before I use any of these apps to edit my photos, I do always upload them into Lightroom on my laptop, where I kind of weed down which photos I want to actually play with. So I usually weed down to about, I don't know, 15 to 30 photos that I'm like pretty excited about. Sometimes there's only 5 or 1, but I always figure out which photos I'm going to use before I just like dump them all on my phone. And then I do some preliminary edits on Lightroom, so I edit the colors, the white balance, the shadows, the exposure. There's a bunch of like preliminary edits that I do before I take them into my phone. So I can like give you guys an example of a before and after of what that looks like. But this is really important to me because I want a nice base before I actually put any kind of filter on my photo. Definitely not a necessary step, but it's something that I enjoy doing and I feel like makes my editing process a lot easier. One other thing that I did want to mention is I really hope that these apps are available for all types of phones. I do have an iPhone, so I know all of these apps do work on iOS, but I am not sure if they work on Android. Oh, I really hope so. So let's first talk about my favorite photo editing app, and that is definitely VSCO. VSCO is something that I've been familiar with for so many years. When Brian and I first started getting into photography, we would buy VSCO presets and use them on Lightroom to edit weddings and family photos and stuff we did for ourselves. So I was very familiar with VSCO. So I just started using their app a few years ago and I'm obsessed with it. It's a really great app for editing your photos. So I believe it is still a free app. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize, you guys. All of these apps I've had on my phone for so long, so I'm like not familiar with what the prices are or if they're free or not anymore. But I want to say when I got VSCO, it was free, but I pay for a membership, so I have access to every single preset that they have available on here. So after I'm done with all of my preliminary edits, I always put my photos into VSCO, and I just have so much fun playing around with all the different filters that they have available. They're seriously so gorgeous and make your photos just really come to life. I get questioned quite a bit on which specific filter I use in VSCO, and to be honest, I can't really pinpoint a specific one that I use all the time. There are ones that I like kind of get stuck on, but even if you were to apply that specific filter to your photo, it's not gonna look anything like mine because I always mess with the filter. I don't like just slap it on and say, okay, we're good to go. So I'll show you guys some of the ones that I really enjoy. So I really enjoy the A filters. They've got this really nice warm vintage look to them. They're so beautiful, so I often will use those. I also really like the E filters. Super pretty and very like vintage look too. There's honestly so many in here that I just absolutely love. So it's all a matter of just kind of playing around until you get the right look. Like I said, it's not just like a one and done, slap it on. It might be for a specific photo, but that's not the way that I like to edit. Something I also really like is how you can play with the intensity of the specific preset that you use. You don't have to like go like full blown preset. So from there, I'll mess with like the exposure. I always mess with the highlights and shadows. This one I don't really need to do too much to. And then I always add grain, which gives you that kind of a nice vintage look to it. I really enjoy that. There's so many things you can mess with on this app, so I could not recommend it more. So another question that I get asked all the time is about the grit and the dust that I put on my photos. So today I'm going to share with you guys my favorite app. Actually, I'm going to share 3 of my favorites because it's hard to choose just one, but my favorite one is by far Afterlight. Afterlight is such a good app that I've been using for so many years, like pretty much when it first came out. You can even just use that one and not even need VSCO at all. It does have a ton of different filters that you can use to put on your photo that are really beautiful. But the main thing that I use it for is, like I said, the grit and kind of dust that I put on my photos. They have so many different options for dust, and I love how you can play around with it too, where you can make it like a little bit of a darker look, or you can flip it around. It's so nice. It's honestly such a great app. Something else that I love playing around with in the app is kind of the light leaks, just to make the photo look a little bit more interesting if you feel like your background's kind of boring. This one I wouldn't typically use a light leak for, but I still think they're really cool and I love playing with them. Another couple apps that I wanted to share with you guys that I like using for the dust effects. Mextures is definitely one of them. It's a great app. This one you do have to pay for as well, but I think it's worth it if you are like putting dust on your photos all the time like I do. It kind of gets monotonous just using the same app over and over again. So I really enjoy using Mextures as well. They have a bunch of different really cool effects. Same thing, they have light leaks on there as well. And the other app that I like to use is actually free. It is RNI Films, and they have a ton of dust on there too. I'll show you guys just some of them. Because this one is free, you don't have as much freedom to like play around with the dust like you do on the other apps. So you basically can just like choose whichever one you want, and that's pretty much it. You can mess with like how intense it is, but you're not going to be able to like flip it or manipulate it in any way. So I do really enjoy this app, but again, this is like probably my 3rd favorite. It's not my absolute favorite. Okay, moving on to planning my feed. This might be kind of boring for some of you, but this is such an important step in my whole Instagram process. I have to plan out my feed before I post a photo. I don't have to, but this is something that is very important to me. So the app that I use is Preview. Again, I've been using this one for so many years and I really love using it. It is a free app. This is how my feed looks at this moment. So the next photo that I'm going to post is up here, and I've kind of planned my feed from there. So I love doing this because I can kind of manipulate where I want the photos just to see what will end up looking the best. I have a bunch of photos like up at the top that I like that I haven't posted yet. So if I am having a day where I don't really feel like I have anything new to post, I can go in here and see which ones I'm still like thinking on and mess with them and see where I want them at. If you guys look at my feed, no 2 photos that are like next to each other in any sort of way look too similar, and I do that on purpose. I don't want a super close-up photo to be posted and then the next day do the same thing again. I just want my feed to look more like an art piece in a sense. I just feel like I love a good like flow and vibe to the feed. So this is something that's very important to me. And when somebody is visiting your page for the first time, they could look at your feed and just get super excited about the way that it looks versus if you're just like blindly posting. You might end up with like a few photos that look super similar next to each other, and then you look at it later and you're like, I hate the way that looks. Now I feel like I have to delete something or archive it. It's just something that gives me some peace of mind, so I really enjoy doing this. Next up, let's talk about video. So I love playing with videos on my feed, whether it's an IGTV or just a 60-second video on my feed, or stories. I love playing with stories too. So my favorite app for editing videos on Instagram is definitely Film. This app is so great. I believe it is free, but I do pay to have full access to the app. Again, you definitely don't have to do that, but there were some specific filters and like effects that I wanted to play with that I would have had to upgrade for. So I decided to do that, and I do not regret it. I really enjoy this app a lot. So something that I do love doing in this app is playing with the speed of a video. So you can speed it up, you can slow it down. I like doing this for like different beauty videos that I do on my channel. I don't like using the time-lapse feature on my iPhone because I feel like it always gives me problems. So I usually film the entire like process of putting my makeup on. If I'm gonna post that, I'll film that in like the normal video mode, and then I will take it in here and I will speed it up. The main thing that I love about this app is playing with all the different filters they have. There's so many fun like vintage looking ones that look really cool. And I love playing with all the kind of like fun dust vintage effects as well. There's so many on here that are so great. Like I said, I do pay to have access to the entire app, but I think it's worth it, especially if this is something that you're doing all the time. You can layer all the different effects too, so I can put a filter on first and then add dust or add a really cool light leak. And as you go to save it, I think it's really helpful too that you can save it as an entire video, or you can cut it up into 15-second story length, which is so helpful. The last app that I wanted to tell you guys about is one that's made stories for me so much more exciting. When Instagram stories first like came out, it was exciting and new, but then I just got kind of bored with it. Posting content on there, I just felt like was just so blah. Like I just wasn't excited about it at all until I started using this app called Storylux. I have so much fun playing with all the different templates they have on Storylux. I can make really fun collages with it. I can just make a video, have a really cool border to it. I really enjoy this one a lot. I use it for stories, and I've actually used it on my feed a couple times too, and I use it sometimes on YouTube for my thumbnails. Again, I just feel like it makes your video or your photo just look a lot more exciting and fun and cute. And it's made stories for me, honestly, just so much more fun versus just like posting a plain photo or a plain video. Now it's like just got a little bit more personality. So I really enjoy using Storylux. This is a free app as well, but I did pay to upgrade to use the full extent of all of the templates. So that's it, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a little bit from it. Using all these apps have definitely made my experience on Instagram much easier and much more fun, so I hope you guys enjoy them too. If you guys enjoyed this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. And again, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below and I will do my best to get back to you. And if there's any other Instagram related videos you guys would like to see from me, I'm totally down for that too. So let me know in the comments. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.